Good morning, friends. Today we'll discuss inventory models. What is inventory? In this topic, we'll study mathematical models of inventory process. But before that, we must know what is inventory. An inventory consists of usable but ideal resources such as main, machine, materials, or money. When the resource involved is a material, the inventory is also called stock. An inventory problem is said to exist if either the resources are subjected to control or if there is at least one such cost that decreases as inventory increases. The objective is to minimize total cost. So, inventory models are studied. Now, this is what inventory model is. So, what is the necessity of maintaining inventory? So, inventory helps in smooth and efficient running of an enterprise. It decouples the production from customers and vendors and simplifies the otherwise complex organization for manufacturing and reduces the coordination efforts. So, this inventory provides service to the customer at short notice. Timely delivers can fetch more goodwill and orders. If inventory is there, stock is there, then you can easily satisfy your customer. In the absence of inventory, the enterprise may have to pay high prices because of piecemeal purchasing. Maintaining of inventory may earn price discount because of bulk purchasing. It also takes advantage of favorable market. Inventory reduces product costs since there is an added advantage of batching and long uninterrupted production runs. Inventory acts as buffer stock when raw materials are received late and shop rejections are too many. Process and movement inventories are quite necessary in big enterprises when significant amount of times are required to transship items from one location to another location. So, bulk purchases will entail less orders and thereof less clerical cost. This applies to good produced within the organization as well. So, less orders as a result of large lots will entail lesser machines setup and other associated costs. So, it also reduces order cost. An organization may have to deal with several customers and vendors who are not necessarily near it. Inventories, therefore, have to be built to meet the demand at least during the transit time. So, this is it helps in maintaining economy by absorbing some of the fluctuations when the demand for an item fluctuates or is seasonal. So these are some reasons why we are maintaining inventory. But if poor inventory is there, what is the problem? Overbuying without regards to the forecast or proper estimate of the demand to take advantage of favorable market. So, overproduction or production of goods much before the customer requires them means again inventory is required, finished good inventory is required, it is high cost. So, overstocking may also result from the desire to provide better service to the customer. So, bulk production to cut down production cost will also result in large inventories. but it increases inventory carrying cost. So cancellation of orders and minimum quantity stipulations by supplier may also give rise in large inventories. So these are different causes of poor inventory control. Inventory control means here you are overbuying something, you are overproducing something, you are overstocking something. So these are some cases where you can see it is not optimum one. Overproduction is there, overstocking is there. So means it is a bad or poor inventory control. So why it is happening? It is happening due to different causes. So first is improper estimate or forecast. Then good much overproduction, production of goods much before customer requires. Okay, it is a early production. Then sometime to provide better service to the customer, but you are stocking it, adding your carrying cost. Sometime due to cancellation of orders and minimum quantity stipulations by the supplier, so inventory is made. So these are some reason behind poor inventory. Means poor inventory means you are wasting unnecessarily on inventory on material and you are reducing your profit here. Now let us discuss classification of inventory. How inventories are classified. Inventory is broadly classified into two categories. One is direct inventory and second is indirect inventory. Inventory is classified into two categories, direct inventory and indirect inventory. So direct inventory, again it is divided into 5 types. Direct inventory is divided into 5 times. So direct inventory is production inventory, then work in progress inventory, then finished goods inventory, then MRO. We'll discuss all these things one by one, and miscellaneous inventory. And indirect inventories are transit or pipeline inventory, buffer inventories, decoupling inventories, seasonal inventories, lot size inventories, and anticipation inventories. What is production inventory? So items such as raw materials, components, sub-assemblies, then object to be produced. So these are production inventories. And final products also production inventories. Then second is work in progress inventory. Work in progress inventory means items in semi finished stage which is in progress. So the products at different stages in a production line. So these are called as work in process inventory. Then third is finished good inventory. So this includes the final product. This includes the final product ready for dispatch to the consumer or distributor. So this is called finished good inventory. Then maintenance, repair and operating items. Maintenance MRO, maintaining, repair and operating items such as the spare parts, consumable store parts, okay, that do not go into final product but are consumed during the production process. So that inventory, that stock is also required, that is called MRO. And miscellaneous inventory. So all other items such as scrap, obsolete, unsellable products, stationery and other items used in office, factory and sales department. These are called miscellaneous inventory. So all these are required directly. That's why it is called as direct inventory. Then what is indirect inventory? So transit or pipeline inventories, also called as movement inventories. They consist of that are currently under transportation. For example, coal being transported from coal fields to the thermal plant. So that coal is called pipeline inventory. That will arrive after some time. Okay, that is in movement. Okay, the buffer inventories are safety stock. So they are also required as a product protection against uncertainty of supply and demand. A company may well know the average demand of an item that it needs. However, the actual demand may turn out to be quite different. It may well exceed the average value. Similarly, an average delivery period may be known, but due to the some unforeseen reason, the actual delivery period could be much more. Sometimes delay may take place. So, in such case, the buffers inventories or safety stock inventories help. So, these are buffer inventories, safety stock. आता आपल्याला इफ वी वॉन्ट टू ट्रॅव्हल टू सम सिटी इट टेक्स 800 rupees. So we are not, and for dinner, lunch, or in between meals is required 200 rupees. Then 800 plus 200 is 1000. So in pocket, our parents are not giving us only 1000. They are giving us some additional 500 rupees or 1000 rupees extra. So that is for safety purpose if it is required. Hmm? If you want to travel from Chiplun to college, it takes 50 rupees. But in your pocket always there is 100 or 200 rupees. Okay, not 50 rupees are sufficient sometimes. So sometimes it requires, suppose, buffer stock. If you are on a bike, it sometimes there may be extra charges are required. So buffer stock is there, safety stock is there. Similarly, the stock is there, maintained. So if there is a delay in supply or there is a sudden increase in demands, so buffer stock is there. Okay, that you can use. That is as a reservoir. Okay, in case of our hydraulic animated reservoir, so buffer stock is used as an indirect inventory. Then next is a decoupling inventories. Decoupling inventories, they are required to decouple or disengage the different types of parts of production system. For an item that requires processing on a series of different machines with different processing time, it is a must to have decoupling inventories the item in between various machines for smooth and continuous production. The decoupling inventories act as shock absorber in case of varying work rates and sometimes machine breakdowns or failures. So it is very important thing, decoupling. Next is a seasonal inventory. What is seasonal inventory? Some items have seasonal demands. So demand of wood, okay, or wool or textile in winter, coolers, air conditioners in summer, raincoats in rainy season. So in such case, in season wise, you have to take there is a demand, but you have to maintain your stock. So it is seasonal. Seasonally, inventory is high. Okay. So inventories for such item have to be maintained to meet their high seasonal demand. So that is called seasonal inventories. Then lot size inventories. So items are usually purchased in a lots, avail price discounts. So if you purchase in a large quantity, you will get more discount, reduce transportation and purchase cost, minimize handling and receiving cost. So lot size or cycle inventories are therefore held by purchasing items in lots rather than their exact quantities required. So this is very important. Then anticipation inventories. Anticipation inventories. So they are held to meet the anticipated demand, purchasing crackers well before delivery, fan before approaching summer. So peeling up of raw material rail in face imminent transporters strikes are example. So it is a anticipation inventories. So you are if there is a rainy season or if any disaster, if you know something, so you will making a stock some material at home. Okay, so to avoid the unavailability in that particular season. So anticipatory inventories. Okay, these are some examples of anticipatory inventories. So in this way there are several types of inventories, and these are uh, that is direct and indirect, and several direct inventories are, several indirect inventories are there. So we should maintain the optimum inventory to reduce inventory cost. So let us see what is inventory cost. Inventory cost is very important. So cost is very important. What is required? So inventory cost is nothing but investment. Inventory cost is nothing but your investment. It should be less, as much as possible. It should be less. So inventory cost is divided, that is purchase cost. First is purchase cost. So it should be less. So purchase cost, actual purchase cost. Then inventory carrying or holding cost, procure costs or setup costs, and last is a shortage cost. There are four types of inventory cost. First is a purchase cost. So it is a cost if you purchase in a some numbers. Okay, so it will be high. If you bulk in quantity, then it will be there much discount if you buy in a bulk. Okay, similarly inventory carrying or it is also called as holding cost. So they arise on account of maintaining stocks and interest paid on the capital tie up with the stocks. If you uh, if you are purchasing in bulk, okay, the more amount is required, and that amount you are not getting anywhere. No, you have to take a loan, so interest is paid on that. That is a cost, inventory carrying cost. The cost of money or capital tied up in inventories. So this is by far the most important component. Money borrowed from the banks may cost interest around 12%, but usually the problem is viewed in slightly different way. That is how much the organization would have earned had the capital been invested in an alternative project such as developing new product. So it is generally taken somewhere around 15 to 20% of value of the inventories. So here inventory carrying cost, the cost of money, then cost of storage space. Okay, so money is invested there. Along with that, the storage space. So space is not available. So in a city level, the space cost is very high. The storage capacity, the area, so it is not a free one. Okay, it requires rent, or if you purchased it, that is a heavy investment. So this consists of rent for space. Besides space expenses, this will also include heating, lighting, and other atmospheric control expenses. See, if there are some food and other products, so they may decay or rusting takes place, or they may damage due to environmental changes. So you have to maintain its conditions. Okay, so typical value may vary from 1 to 3%. That is inventory carrying cost. That is a cost of shortage space, storage space. Then depreciation and deterioration costs. So they are especially important for fashion items or items undergoing chemical changes during storage. So fragile items such as crockeries are liable to damage, breakage. So 0.2 to 1% of stock value may be lost due to damage and deterioration. It is natural. So it comes under inventory carrying cost. Then pilferage cost. So it depends upon the nature of items. Valuables such as gunmetal bushes and expensive tools may be more tempting, while there is hardly any possibility of heavy casting or forging being stolen. So while the former must keep under lock and key. So something, okay. So this is a cost, an obsolescence cost. So So it depends upon the nature of the item in stock. Electronic and computer components are likely to be fast outdated. So right now you are using i7 or i8, r9, okay, but here now i3 and i1 or p4. So these are outdated now. The changes in design also lead to be obsolescence. It may be possible to qualify the percentage loss due to the obsolescence, and it may take up to 5% of the stock value. So everywhere it is applied. Then one more cost is there, and that is handling cost. So material handling cost, if you are maintaining, no, so you have to handle. This includes all costs associated with movement of stock, such as cost of labor, overhead cranes, then other machines used for this purpose. So it comes under inventory carrying cost. I am explaining inventory carrying and holding cost. See, it is having huge cost. It is okay. So record keeping and administrative cost for that particular inventory. Then tax and insurances. So all these considers, okay. So 1 to 2% insurance is there. So inventory carrying cost, it is denoted by C1, is expressed either as per percent unit time or in terms of monetary value per unit time. Okay, so this is about inventory carrying cost. Similarly, procure cost or setup cost. See, if you order something, for ordering you require some infrastructure, some person, some time is required. The salary given to that person is a procurement cost. Also the ordering cost. So you have to send a letter or you have to send a mail, and that will reach there. So to put order, you require some efforts. That is a procurement cost. This includes the fixed costs associated with the placing of an order and setting up a machinery before starting production. They include cost of purchase, requisition, follow-up, receiving the goods, quality control, etc. Also called order cost or replenishment cost. They are assumed to be independent of quantity ordered or produced, but directly proportional to the number of orders placed. So at times, however, these costs may not bear any simple relationship to the number of orders. So more than one stock item may be ordered one on one set of the documents. So clerical staff is not divisible, and without the existing staff increasing and decreasing, there may be considerable scope for changing the number of orders. So as number of orders, that will increase procurement cost. So this is the procurement cost or setup cost. Then one more is shortage cost. So these costs are associated with either a delay in meeting demand or inability to meet it at all. So therefore shortage costs are usually loss of orders, usually interpreted in two ways. In case of unfilled demand can be filled at last stage, that is backlog case. So these costs are proportional to quantity that is short as well as the delay time. They represent loss of goodwill and cost of idle equipment in case the unfilled demand is lost. So these costs become proportional to only the quantity that is short. So this is shortage cost. Okay, these are some inventory cost. We should consider this cost. We should consider this cost in inventory. So inventory control problem consists of determination of two basic factors. First is when to order, that is when to produce or purchase, and how much to order. So when to order, this is related to the lead time of an item. Lead time may be defined as time interval between the placement of an order for an item and its receipt in stock. It may be replenishment order on an outside firm or within the works. there should be the enough stock for each item so that customers orders can be reasonably meet from this stock until replenishment. So the stock level known as record level has therefore to be determined for each time. So it is determined by the balancing the cost of maintaining the stocks and this service to the customer if his orders are not filled in time. So in this way, what is important is when to order. It is decided. Then how much to order. So already we discussed each order has associated with it the ordering cost or acquisition cost. To meet it low, the number of orders should be as low as possible. The order size should be large, but larger order size would imply high inventory cost. Thus, the problem of how much to order is solved by compromising between the acquisition costs and inventory carrying costs. The inventory control policy of an organization depends upon the demand characterizations. The demand for an item may be independent or dependent. For instance, the demand for the different models of television sets manufactured by the company does not depend upon the demand of any other item, while the demand of its various components will depend upon the demand of television set. So, depending on number of mobile, so mobile accessories sales. So it depends. But you cannot compare mobile with ball pen. So pen is different product and mobile is different products. So in this way you have to study the forecasting. The methods are there, forecasting layer. The order level can be fixed from the forecast and the lead time. Thus while in the case of dependent demands, simple arithmetic computations are enough to ascertain requirements of the component in the case of independent demands items. The statistical forecasting techniques have to be employed. So here it is very important how much to order. We must decide. Okay. So this is about some introductory part of inventory. So in this session we discuss different part, that is what is inventory, why inventory is necessary, causes of poor inventories, then inventory costs, then different types of inventories. In next session we will discuss the classification of inventory and finding of EOQ, that economic order quantity. So we will study and inventory models with different types. Okay, the classification of fixed order quantity inventory models we'll discuss in next lecture. Okay, thank you very much.